Hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly bump. Thank you guys so much for being here. So again, same as always, we've got three piles 1, 2, and 3, using all of my favorite aura quartz this week, starting with a green, a pink, and a blue. So for those of you who are new, the way this works is you just pick a pile, okay? So some people feel more intuitively connected, other people don't. It doesn't really matter. If you're not feeling truly connected, you can always just randomly pick one. And usually I always say there's an element of destiny involved, so there will likely be a few insights that come out for you. So if you need to take time, pause the video, take a moment. And the timestamps for when you're ready, when you've made your selection, will be in the description box and the comment thread down below. All right, thank you guys. See you in just a sec. Okay, pile number 1. You guys selected the green aura quartz here. Let's go ahead and see what's come through for you. 6 of Cups, 9 of Wands, the Sun, the Hierophant, and the King of Swords, and the Star. Okay, well, the Star and the Sun are kind of like two sides of the same coin, right? Because the Star is a sun and a sun is a star. Now, really first thing that's coming out are these children here. So some of you might be dealing with issues with your kids or thinking about having kids, or many of you are maybe just sort of coming full circle with something from when you were a kid. Maybe there's a lot of reminiscing going on of like, oh, back in the day when I was growing up, I used to love to, like one that came up for me was like running in the leaves and jumping, right? Jumping in the pile of leaves that you rake up in the fall, or I'm seeing a lot of creativity coming through for a lot of you as well. There's something about this unfiltered, unadulterated, free-form thought and just allowing it to really just course through you. And I think it's something to really be protected right now. There's always, certain expectations of other people, whether it's at our job or within our family, and these roles that we have to fulfill. And I totally get that, but it's really important for you to find some peace and quiet for yourself this week. Because I feel like there's a higher calling, there's like a higher order that is trying to come forward from within, right? We have this Hierophant, King of Swords. Like, I don't know, there seems to be a quality of a duty that must be fulfilled. And I don't mean like a duty in terms of something that you have to do, but rather something that you have to be. And anything that has been suppressed, anything that has been ignored, anything that is in your heart that has been hidden or kept quiet, it's becoming so loud now. I just honestly don't know how anyone can be living, any level of hypocrisy, no matter how small, or any level of denial or any level of a teeny tiny white lie, I don't know how anyone can even be doing that right now. Because the qualities of truth, the qualities of honesty, and the qualities of doing what's right and what you know to be right, especially for yourself, is just undeniable in these cards. And the sun, which is so radiant, with the star, which is also so radiant and so beautiful and so pure, is, that reminder that you're connected with something so much bigger than all the things that are right in front of you today. That all the issues and all the decisions and all the concerns that you have are so minuscule compared to what's really going on. And it kind of takes the weight, or it takes the power away from those things, which actually makes life a lot easier. Like if there's a decision that is in front of you today that you're going to have to make, and you're feeling some pressure on it, if you're capable, take a step back, take a breath, take a moment, take a beat, and really ask yourself, how important is this really? How stressed out should I really be? Because in the grand order of all things, this really is not that big a deal. And it's kind of that perspective, not trying to diminish things. That's not what I'm trying to do here. It's not diminishing what's going on in your life, but it's to diminish the power of what's going on in your life and give the power back to you, which is essentially what the Hierophant is all about. I also feel that there might be someone else in your life, a significant other, coworker, business partner, creative person, whatever, a King of Swords, someone else, someone other than you, that I think you're feeling very drawn to right now. And there's a growing respect for this person. The more and more you get to know them, the more and more of their true colors that they show you, the deeper that understanding of who they are and their role in your life gets. And, initially a King of Swords is not always the most friendly. It's not always the warmest or the most approachable kind of energy, but yet ultimately this is probably the type of person that you could have and keep and would want to have and keep in your life for your whole life because of how high quality they are in terms of their emotional maturity, their ability to understand when things need to change. And the reason why I'm saying that about someone else is that I think it's being reflected back to you. When we have the star and the sun coming out together, I feel that there is a mirroring aspect, right? We have the individual, the Leo, sun, and we have the collective, the Aquarius, the star, and that they are mirrors of one another. So when there's an element of society, therefore another person, when there's an element of society or humanity being mirrored back into you, it's an indication actually, because if you're associating and vibrationally connecting with a King of Swords type of person right now, it means that you are on that same level as well, which means you should give yourself a pat on the back and be like, wow, I've done a really, really good job. Right? I've done a good job. And again, that also mirrors that is the important thing. That growth, that strength, that ability to see yourself for who you really are, that trumps all of the power of all the decisions you have to make today. It really does. You're stepping into a power seat, my friends, pile number one. You're stepping into a power seat. You are consciously creating, and I love that with the Six of Cups, because there is that playfulness, there is that childlike wonderment and purity, and that's the best way to create because it's completely, it's unstoppable. It's a completely unclogged, waterway, if you will. And I do see you starting and beginning to create some really wonderful things. You have to protect your vibe, though. That's been a whole thing this year. We do have to protect our vibe. We have to protect our energy. We have to protect our choices. We have to protect what we feel is truly right for us. And sometimes there are hard conversations that have to happen. But when you protect it and when you treat it with respect, the universe will treat you with respect in return, which means that it will ultimately turn out to be the best for all involved. Okay, let's see what else comes out. Conflict and defeat, but we also have triumphant success. Okay, so again, two sides of the same coin here. If you have felt like you have lost something recently, or if something has not gone your way or according to plan in some way, shape, or form, the failure itself was the success. This is what happens when we are forced to surrender. Like when we go through a period of time and we're continuing to fight, continuing to push, and continuing to go all the time, and it just never seems to work out, eventually we are going to be defeated by that thing. But that is the universe saying, hey, chill out, it's cool, you're surrendering now. And it kind of takes a hold of the situation and forces that. We only perceive it to be a failure, right? We only perceive it to be something negative, but in fact, it's not. It's ultimately a success. It's exactly what this card, and that's why these two cards are coming out here like this. When it comes to your ability to be truthful, when it comes to your ability to go deep within yourself, again, it's mirroring someone else that you really, really respect. I have a feeling there's someone that is really special for you right now. And it's not really about them. They're just an indicator right now, this week. You can look at them as an indicator of how far you've come. That in and of itself is that success. Expect powerful change. Yeah, it's going to be powerful change because you are no longer overpowered by your decisions. This is a major power flip that's going on. It's like something happened, something clicked, boom, something switched this year. And all of a sudden, you're standing in the driver's seat and you actually know what that means. When you consciously create things, when you consciously develop relationships, when you consciously choose a certain thing over another, that is when mountains can be moved. And I don't mean it lightly, right? I know this is just a weekly reading, but this month, this week, this year, like it has been a culmination of a lot of things. And this is the time, this is the moment to really grab the reins and say, I might not quite know where I'm going, but I know that I am operating in my fullness of truth in this moment right now. And that's enough. Okay, so yeah, you can expect powerful change in your life because you finally grab the reins. Okay? Oh my God, a new start is coming. Exactly, because you're creating it, because you're the one making it happen. You're the one declaring that it is so, and therefore it will be so. There is a darkness, though, right? Dark moon, new moon eclipse, meaning, right? We have the defeat thing here, so I know that it might still be a bit cloudy, but I mean, you still have the sunlight ultimately here in the tarot, so it's not that dark. It's not dark when you know yourself. It's not dark when you know who you are. All the external stuff can be unknown, and that's fine. Because it doesn't matter when you're sitting in this seat of the soul. The void. Okay, well, yeah, another dark moon we have here, or a black hole, if you will. And not a problem, not an issue. See, and I like that with the star. We have the stars here, and we have the star card in the back there. Is that remember that you're a part of something so much bigger. Remember that it's not just about today. It's not just about tomorrow. It's not even just about this lifetime. It's about an infinite span, an infinite existence, you know. And I get that I have Sagittarius in my third house, and I get that I'm always like talking in such a high level kind of way. But I've just found that life is easier when you think of it that way. Otherwise, you get so stressed about the stupid, minuscule things that really have no bearing on the judgment that we face near the end, right? The judgment that we do upon ourselves when we reincarnate. Remember, you're a part of something a lot bigger than this. Remember that all exploration, when directed internally, directed in toward the self, is also an exploration of the external as well, that they mirror one another. The winged wise one, angelic help, miraculous aid. Well, that's a beautiful card for you guys to get. I don't know that it gets better than that, if I'm being honest. There's guidance here. Angelic help. You know, there's entities, if you will. There are beings that see you, that feel you, that support you, that are guiding you. That's why the void and the new start and the powerful change, that's why those aren't scary cards. That's why conflict and defeat is not anything to be worried about. Because it's not really dark, because you're lit up inside. All right, island, solitude. Oh my goodness, can we have any more solitude this year? Like enough, right? Enough is enough. And yet, maybe we come into an understanding that that's really all there is. Like, we're together, but we're also always just ourselves. And we can connect, and we can talk, and we can communicate, and we can feel, and we can, do this even energetically, but there is still only the self. That really is the only thing that exists. And that's why I think that there's this kind of enlightened moment that you see here with the Hierophant, with the King of Swords, this enlightened moment of really understanding what this whole gig is all about. And ultimately, it's just about you. And with the children aspect, I feel like there's a teaching quality. So not only do you have angelic help, but you also as an earth angel here are also the angelic help to others, the angelic guides, the miraculous aid, right? And maybe this King of Swords is an aid for you. And we're all just helping each other. We're all just working together. We're all just, helping to illuminate the path of self, but with the understanding that we all just have to go on it our own. Am I consistently showing up? Okay, maybe some of you need that question. I would say for the most part, the only reason why pile 1 wouldn't be showing up is because you're feeling overpowered by certain decisions that are needing to be made, or external factors that are not, happening the way you think that they should happen, right? That's the only way, because you're feeling intimidated by unknowns, intimidated by the dark moons and the voids and the eclipse kind of energy, which we're making our way into eclipse season, here in the next, a couple of months here. So if you're feeling intimidated by that, if you're feeling intimidated by the change, you might be holding back. There's nothing to be intimidated by. Some trade their dreams for comfort, yet comfort is the enemy of progress. Success requires showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it, and even when it feels uncomfortable. It takes guts and an endless vision to stay consistent to your dream. So where is it in your life that could show more consistency, that could show more of an investment of your consciousness? Potential. Oh my God, we've got a new start. We have powerful change. We have the void. We have angelic guides. We have even the starlight here as well. I mean, clearly there's an expanse. Clearly there is something that is being built here. And it really is. It really depends on, are you in that seat of power? Are you in the driver's seat? Are you intimidated by choices? Are you intimidated by external factors that come in or not? In the same way that a child, right, does not feel intimidated by the next day. They just get up and it's like a fresh new start, and it's all exciting every day, It's all so new, it's all so vibrant, it's also worthwhile. Maybe you're coming into your childlike nature, and that's a beautiful thing. Skunk spirit, know your worth. I love that card. Because sometimes we need that reminder, right? We need that reminder that just because something happens, it doesn't really mean anything about ourselves. It doesn't mean we're less than. It doesn't mean we are bad at it. It doesn't mean we can't. It just means that it happened. And when we have the sunlight and the star, that absolutely is an indication of someone stepping into their worth. And then last but not least, spiritual evolution, set your heart free. And that's beautiful with the star, because that's what it is. It's a liberation. A liberation from the stress, a liberation from the anxiety, a liberation from the expectations. And everything just sort of, I'm getting this image of like, when you fly up in an airplane and everything becomes miniaturized, like the cars get smaller and, the buildings get smaller and everything just gets smaller. And it's like this miniaturization effect. When you grow as a self, everything in the external world becomes miniaturized. And that in and of itself is the essence of freedom. Okay. Big reading, big week, big planetary changes. I'm going to leave you guys with that. Thank you so, so much. You guys know I love you and I wish you absolutely nothing but the best. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 2. You guys selected the pink aura quartz. Let's go ahead, dive right in and see what comes through here. Starting off with the Wheel of Fortune, the Ace of Rods, the Magician, 8 of Swords, 5 of Coins, and Page of Coins. Okay, so really exciting stuff coming through with the Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Wands, and the Magician. Look, really, guys, anything is possible right now. Honestly, if If you have some decisions to make, if you have some choices that you're coming up against right now, just do what you want, right? Do the thing that really brings you that state of peace, that brings you the happiness, because this wheel is trying to turn over. And it's kind of like this convergence between like the universe kind of sitting on the edge of its seat, waiting to give you whatever it is you ask it to give you. I'm not saying it will all be perfect, but there's kind of a, I'm almost even kind of sensing an urgency with everything. And the universe wants you to go big, right? 8 of Swords, 5 of Coins, like enough of this limiting beliefs, enough of the fear, right? That scarcity, lack mentality. There's no room for that kind of stuff when we have the Wheel, the Magician, and the Ace of Wands. Because this is all spirit-based. Because you wouldn't want the things you want unless you were supposed to want it. You wouldn't want to go in that direction unless that was, meant for you in your path somehow. And I think this denial of the things that we want, that's become really, really prevalent through 2020. And I've been saying, I feel like I'm like getting really redundant, but I'm not sure. Maybe some people need to hear it again, just as like a reminder. Like this is the year of being honest. This is the year of truth. It's the year of authenticity. It's the year where we strip away all the false narratives. And I think those narratives of telling yourself that you're afraid, right? That's a part of the false narrative, because I don't think you're really afraid. I think the world has told you that you're supposed to be afraid. I think in our purest essence, our souls are really, really courageous. That courage is the natural state. Anything other than that is false or derived from a teaching that was given to you. If you're afraid of the money, if you're afraid of the failure, if you're afraid of it not working out, if you're afraid of being alone, if you're afraid of people not wanting what you want, that's just something you have to acknowledge and understand where it's coming from and understand what role it has played in your life, but to act in spite of it. The Magician is not fazed by fear. He does his magic anyway. The Ace of Wands does not worry about your fear. It still implants a desire in your heart. The Wheel of Fortune does not care about your fear. It wants to give you what you want. And the Page of Coins is on the other end being like, yeah, I'll give you what you want. Here it is. So this 8 of Swords, 5 of Coins situation is a blip on the radar. There is a much, much, much bigger picture playing out here. And if it's possible, open our minds to a grander spectrum, to a higher level perspective, the choices that are placed right in front of us are minuscule. And it kind of takes the power away. It's kind of similar to pile number 1. It's like take the power away from these decisions and these choices that feel scary. The decisions themselves are not scary. The options posed in front of you are not scary. You're creating fear because you're afraid of the loss or failure or whatever. But it's time for us to redefine failure. It's time for us to redefine what's scary. I think the scary thing is not enjoying this power that you have. The real scary thing is not living a life that makes you happy. The real scary thing is being in a state of stress and anxiety. Like that's the real scary. We're all on our way toward a greater state of peace internally. We're all on our way toward a life that is more within our control. And when I say within our control, meaning we have more say over how we spend our time. We have more say of how we dedicate our resources. We have more say in terms of whom we give our attention to. We get to make those choices from a higher state of consciousness rather than being, cajoled around and flipped and flopped all over the place by external things. So these things are here, they are present, but they are weak. The real power is in these first three cards, the Wheel of Fortune, the Ace of Wands, and the Magician. Okay? There's more victory here. There's more passion and fulfillment and satisfaction and contentment here than there can ever be here. So let's see what else comes out. Movement, choices, and decisions. So yeah, decisions, and they might be, seemingly big decisions, but also seemingly small decisions that have big impact. Sometimes we have decisions that seem like nothing and it's not really a big deal, but the consequences of those decisions, it grows exponentially. So don't forget that every decision is a new seed that is planted. So if you don't want that seed to become a gigantic tree in your life, then don't plant that seed. Don't make that decision. Make the decisions that bring you peace, that bring you a sense of contentment, and they give you a sense of relief. Okay, discontent and boredom. I'm more leaning toward the word discontent on that card, although some of you might be feeling a bit bored with your life. That's this kind of stuff. People who are bored with their lives or discontent with their lives are not really open. Right? What's that saying? Only boring people are bored. That's what it is. Only boring people get bored. And there are people that can do nothing and be so entertained, right? I bet a lot of you are that type of person, right? You can do nothing, sit there with nothing but a cup of coffee or a cup of tea in your hand for like 2 hours and be totally content and totally entertained by what's happening. That's a true engagement with your life. Discontentment and boredom is a symptom of disengagement. It's like you're there, but you're not really there. You're in the room, but your consciousness is somewhere else. So if you find yourself in that state, that's a part of this fear. It's a part of this anxiety stuff that's kind of trying to get out of your life. I think that's what's happening, is this kind of stuff is trying to leave your life. And it's trying to leave, but it's also trying to grasp. The fear and anxiety itself is caught between worlds. And it's really up to you to say, like, yeah, finally you can go. Like, it's okay. Let go. Go out into the spans of whatever. Go back to where you came from and just let me just chill. All right? And you become more engaged with life. You become more engaged with your decisions. You become more engaged with the people that are around you and with the moments, even when you're alone. And it's going to grow. Remember, the movements, the choices, and the decisions that you make will grow. Okay, look at the bigger picture. Okay, yeah. Because when we do that, when we do look at the bigger picture, very few things seem that important. Like in the grand scheme of our lives, how many choices really are that important? How many roads that we didn't take, right, are really that regretful? I mean, really not that many. Hopefully not that many. So now is a time to just not really think of it as such a big deal. And that if you place your happiness, contentment, and peace first, then that is the kind of life that you will create. It really is as simple as that. And for those of you contemplating new jobs, which I think a ton of people have come to me for private readings asking about, should I change my career? What path should I go down? I know a lot of people are considering changes in their career. It's the essence of what happens when we have these massive Capricorn transits, okay? But really, it doesn't really matter. Stay or go, it doesn't matter. What matters is if you stay, are you happy? Or if you leave, are you happy? And are you grateful along the way? And you have patience for things to evolve. Because I think you're looking kind of short term right now. And that's where that kind of scarcity and fear is really coming from. You're looking a little too short term. You're like, yeah, but if I make this decision, then what's my money going to look like? Yeah, but if I leave, then I'm not going to have another person to fall back on or to get into a new relationship with, And there could be that sort of yeah, but if this, then that. Rather than just, it is just this. And not worrying about the that. Does that make any sense? My weird language there. The answers you need are coming. You don't need to force the answers to come. You can't anyway. It's just faith in the process. Faith in how things come together. Faith that when you magician something, which is essentially move into that creation energy, and decisions is usually the first part of that, and then actions is the other part of that. So if you make a decision to quit your job, are you actually going to walk into your boss's office and tell him? Right? That's kind of how the magician works. And that's how life is formed. And so there's a mixture here. And when you do that, that's when the answers come. Right? What's going to happen if I quit my job? What's going to happen if I move to this new city? What's going to happen if I start this business? What's going to happen if I, get into a relationship with this person? Well, do it, and the answers will show you, Sometimes we put the cart before the horse, sometimes. Right now, it's not about doing that. It's about being in the moment and not stressing too much about that which is yet to come. And we have pleasure. Exactly. Pleasure is a big part of this for you guys. I like that word pleasure because when we think of things that are pleasurable, it's enjoyable. And those are the kinds of things that your heart is guiding you toward that which is pleasurable. I mean, wouldn't you rather live a life that is entirely pleasurable? Be in a relationship that is pleasurable? I mean, yeah, obviously. There's a quality of ecstasy built within us, our natural state, courageous and ecstatic. And it is the teachings and the things that we've been shown and the boxes that we've been put in since, we were growing up as a child that sort of dims that light. Now, some people have allowed the world to kind of dim them a little bit more than others have. And there's karma and, there's a lot of factors at play here. But at any moment, regardless of your story, regardless of your life experiences, you can choose to become closer or to come closer to that natural state. And you do that through movement, choices, and decisions. Yeah, the Desert Prince and false promises. Interesting. These, right, that word survival is kind of a harsh word, right? False promises, that's kind of a harsh energy. And I think that's connected here with the 8 of Swords and the 5 of Coins. It's but if I do this, then I'm not going to have money. Then I'm going to be alone. Then it's kind of a doomsdayer, Debbie Downer quality. And that's something to be very aware of. It's something like if you make a choice, is it going to be the best avenue? Well, maybe it doesn't matter if it's the best avenue. Maybe it doesn't matter if it's really going to bring you that outcome. Maybe it doesn't really matter if you have a soft landing. Maybe none of that ever matters ever. And is that ever guaranteed anyway? So when we sort of take that off the table, the desert is kind of interesting to me because I'm getting like an image in my mind of like the harsh Sahara, like with the windstorms and the heat. And it's just kind of like, maybe we need to remember that life is still a very raw experience, no matter what. It's a very raw animal experience. And sometimes we need to just let it be that. We've all maybe this is a product from living a life that's a little too, cushy or whatever. I don't know. Crystals, focus. Focus on the joy, right? If you're going to make choices and decisions, choices and decisions to place your focus on a certain thing, to create, to magician something. Focus on what it is. Focus on what the best possible thing to focus on is. You know, when it comes to belief is always a big thing when we're in that creation mode and we're in that mode of taking first steps. You have to believe that it is possible. And when you focus on positive beliefs, and you focus on beliefs that are helpful and useful to you, right? This is a placebo, like you're your own placebo, right? So you go into a study for a new pill. Some people get the real pill, some people don't. They get the placebo. Placebo people sometimes heal themselves simply because they had a belief that was helpful to them. So you might, if you're going to choose your beliefs anyway, you might as well choose that. Am I willing? Okay. Are you willing to make the choice? Are you willing to take the steps? Are you willing to allow pleasure into your life? Are you willing to allow the answers to come when they're supposed to come? You are on the edge of something great. Can you feel it? Oh my God, you guys, this is so crazy. Yes, there is risk, uncertainty, and imperfections ahead. Failure is certain and vulnerability is a requirement. You must be brave and trust yourself more than ever before. You will reach the dream, but you must stretch yourself into a whole new level of belief and willingness in order to move forward with courage. Oh my gosh, I can't even. Sometimes with these cards, I swear to God, all those words, right? New level of belief, move forward with courage. You must be brave, trust yourself. I love this so much. This is such a beautiful card for you. Are you willing to do that? Right? Are you willing to do that? Because this might be a matter of like freedom versus imprisonment, right? Within yourself. I think a lot of you are going to choose freedom, right? Because this is boring. This is tiring. This is why there's discontentment and boringness in your life. Oh, and relaxation, my favorite word. My favorite word of the season, relax. Because if you are all tense and all stressed and you're sending out this signal that is all jarred and jagged, right? It's going to be really hard for that wheel of fortune, remember over here, to truly turn over. And honestly, it wants to turn over. It wants to get off the edge of its seat and give you what you want, right? Page of coins over here. But if you relax, that energy is going to be so much softer. And if you make a choice without second guessing or without stressing about the choice beforehand, then the synchronicities will start happening. The doors will start opening. The people will start showing up. Relaxation and surrender is one of the most important things for us to do on a consistent basis that somehow is really hard for us humans to do because we were never taught to do that, right? So now is a good time to teach yourself how to relax. Seahorse spirit, watch and wait. Watch what happens when you make these choices. Watch what happens when you relax. Watch what happens when you take the risk. Watch what happens when you choose pleasurable things or things that make your heart feel soft and happy. Watch how quickly your life evolves. And last but not least, love and light, act with care. Right? It's not haphazard decisions. It's not decisions based on this lack mentality. Consciously choosing that which you know to be best based on all the information that you have up to this point. This is not but if I had all the information, it's not like that. What information do you have? And the decision to be made accordingly. You must be facing some stuff, looking at a new chapter in your life. You must be thinking about your future a lot. You don't want to mess it up. I get it. You don't want to make a mistake. I get it. But I'm pretty sure you won't. Okay? I'm pretty sure you won't. I'm going to leave you guys there. Thank you so much. You guys know how much I love you. Have an amazing week, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Okay, pile number 3. You guys selected the blue aura quartz. Let's go ahead and take a look at what these cards have to say. So we start with the 4 of coins, King of coins, 10 of swords, the Devil, Six of Swords, and 10 of Coins. Okay, wow, you got a lot of coin cards. Wondering if you guys aren't thinking about your careers, your livelihoods, thinking about your finances, and, just kind of your contribution here. Maybe some of you really thinking about, the purpose. I think people have been really anxious about the purpose this year. Am I living my purpose? Am I really doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Is this really where I'm meant to be? There's been a lot of questioning going on like that. And I always say with those types of questions, we're all living our purpose all the time because it's inevitable. It's just a matter of, are we recognizing what it is? And are we aligned with a path that is going to enable that to grow and to get better so that we can help more people? Four of Coins is a very stuck, miserly kind of energy, and it can be quite stubborn sometimes. But sometimes we also need to be in that stubborn place, because we need some, it's just all we've got right now, right? That's just what we're working with. And sometimes we hit a little bit of an ebb. Other times we're in a little bit of a flow. You guys might be hitting up against a bit of an ebb. Maybe you're feeling Mercury retrograde kind of slowing down this week. You might be feeling Mars slowing down over the next couple of weeks here. Just kind of feeling the shifts and the build up to the eclipses and feeling the density of the things that are going on. And that's fine. So if it's not the first two piles were like, make decisions and act and go. But I think you guys are kind of opposite. Now is a really good time to just sit with what you've got. And if you are faced with certain decisions, the one piece of advice is just to do what really makes you happy, okay? And if you're not really sure, now is an excellent time to spend with the people that you love and that really love you a lot and that support the crap out of you no matter what, and who can handle any kind of, indecisiveness or, flakiness or whatever. They can just really handle that while you figure things out. And I don't know that you should be using your mind to figure things out, because we have this 10 of Swords, which can be a really daunting type of energy. And it's just too many thoughts. It's not clear. And to be honest, you've probably thought all the thoughts. So there's nothing new that's going to come through. So this is about not paying attention to your mind and that sort of yip yapping back and forth like the angel and the devil on your shoulder, right? It's about shutting off that noise and completely disregarding it, because neither story, neither narrative is really where the truth is at. Now, the thing I love about the King of Coins is he's very successful in the world, but the reason he's very successful in the world is because he follows his gut. This is a Taurus energy, guys. And the Taurus archetype within each of us represents our ability to take care of it ourselves, our self-reliance, and our survival. And that survival quality is connected with instinct and intuition in a powerful, powerful way. When a King of Coins wants to start something new, he's going to only do the things that really make an impact, and he's going to let all the extra stuff he's not even going to think about it because it's not even worth his time. He values his time, he values his energy, and he's only going to do the things that he knows are going to work. Okay? Now, we don't all have all the answers, but I know that you know yourself. I know that you know what works for you. What makes you feel happy, what makes you feel good. I know that you know what gets you into that zone, that hyper-productive, excellent efficiency and effectiveness type of mind, right? You just click in. And I feel like that's where you're going. You're kind of in a weird place. I'm not going to say it's a full-on stagnation or anything like that, but it's definitely the end of something kind of prominent in your life. And instead of trying to bang your head against the wall, like this devil is always cracking the whip, right? Get to work, do it. And it's kind of in contradiction with the King of Coins, because he's like, no, man, I'm not going to work if I'm not in the mood, because if I'm not in the mood, it's not going to be effective, and therefore there's no point. Right? So there's this total contradiction going on here. And yet I like the King of Coins the best, because here he is, leading you toward the 10 of Coins. The devil doesn't lead you to the 10 of Coins. Okay? The devil leads you into a state of dissatisfaction. It leads you into a state of never being good enough and yada, 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 and that whole thing, right? And we're not trying to go down that path. In fact, I think we're trying to circumvent. And I kind of feel like the 6 of Swords is sort of kind of just going around like the 10 of Swords and the devil, almost the way water goes around a rock. Let's just not even go there. Why would water try to bang up against the rocks trying to get a path going when it could just go around? It's so much easier. This is about the easier path. In a time of not really knowing and the stagnation of it, just do what flows the most. So if you're thinking of considering a new job, but you're freaking out because you don't know what job to choose, just stay where you are. That is okay. You can just stay where you are. Or if you're really getting pushed to that brink, getting pushed to that limit, then start opening yourself up to a new job. It's easy. It's the easy route. And that's very rare. Not every tarot reading comes out like that. It's not always the easy route. But this time it is. And sometimes, devil can be our demons and our shadow work, and we can get all deep with it. I just don't think that it's that deep right now. It doesn't need to be. Because I'm sure you've done the deep work. And maybe now it's time to come back up to earth, right? We've got all these coins out here. It's time to come back to earth, come back to the surface, get some fresh air, and just kind of lay out in the sun for a minute, Because if you're doing things that you love and that you're good at, and it's working okay, and you're still open to a new path, the universe will answer. It's going to take you to the 10 of Coins, guys. It's going to take you to the fortune and the abundance and the prosperity and the love and the wealth and all the things. But you have to let it guide you. There seems to be something inside that's no, it has to be hard. And if it's not hard, then it's not worth doing. And that's not the case for you guys right now. It doesn't have to be hard. Honestly, I feel like for you guys, the right decision and the easy decision they're the same thing. Okay? You don't have to move for the sake of movement's sake. If it's easier to just stay where you are for right now, please don't feel like that's the wrong choice. It's not the wrong choice for you. But again, if you feel like moving is the right choice for you and it's the easier choice, then do that. See? Exactly. Material and spiritual prosperity. Exactly what I'm just saying. 10 of Coins. That's what this is. That's where you're headed. That's where you're going. This is not prosperous energy. Now, the devil's not always bad. Sometimes we need to pay more attention to it. But right now it's associated with the 10 of Swords. And the 10 of Swords is a dead end. So just don't even go there. With all the fears and the insecurities and all the things that you feel sad about. And it's not time for that kind of mentality. And you don't have to work your butt off, 23 hours a day. It doesn't have to be like that. And then we have, financial and material changes, and it's on top of the 10. So I'm suspecting that it's for the best. There might be a little dip or a little stagnation, or if it's going to stay the same for now, that's fine. But once you make your way in this 6 of Swords sort of slithery type of fashion, then the changes will start occurring. And it's likely positive because it's associated with the 10, meaning the best. Plus, we also have the King out here as well. And the King of Coins is not going to settle for less than maximum coins. Now, coins does not have to mean money. It can just mean your happiness. It can mean your appreciation of your experiences. Okay? Oh my gosh, look, material and spiritual prosperity, and prosperity lies ahead. So you have a lot of mile markers here, okay? A lot of big billboards, essentially, like to pay attention. Prosperity lies ahead. But I'm telling you, if you indulge here and you're like, no, but I'm so scared and I have to work so hard, I have to pressure, and I have to do this, and I have to do that, I have to do. And if you're in that kind of restricted mode, this may come into your life and you might not even see it. Or you might be restricting it from coming in because this is kind of a sinkhole kind of energy. And anything that tries to come in is then sort of sucked into the void somewhere, into this kind of like spirally place in the very center of the reading here. I feel like this is kind of like that point of no return, like in a waterfall, right? You know, that point of no return where like if you cross that threshold, you're going to get sucked over. But if you swim over to the side and get onto the rocks, which is what you're doing over here, you're going to be perfectly fine and you won't fall, right? The easier thing to do. Instead of trying to swim upstream, swim to the side. Work through your fear. Yeah. This is the fear here. Overcome it by swimming to the side. Breaking your pattern a little bit. And I like how we have new moons out here as well. And I actually like that we have new moon in Scorpio and Taurus because we actually are having the full moon and new moon in Taurus and Scorpio, respectively. So it is about money. It is about fear. It is about transformation. It is about shedding the skin. It is about becoming someone else, right? I say becoming someone else, not like you're adopting a new personality or anything, but you're becoming a more stripped down, raw, true, authentic version of yourself. And fear of there can be fear of doing that. Sometimes it's a fear of the easy way too. I don't know. And the unexpected. Okay? You can expect the unexpected. The good kind. The one that leads you to prosperity, right? The good kind of random job opening that comes up. The good kind of new person that comes into your life and you're like, oh my God, I didn't even know people like you even existed. Are you even for real? You can expect the unexpected. You can expect prosperity. You can expect the 10 of coins. Will it happen tomorrow? No. Will there be a point of vulnerability? Yes. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Sun dancers, joyful activity, celebration of life, and again, abundance. So I don't know who needs to hear it, but abundance, abundance, abundance all over the place. Prosperity, prosperity, prosperity. As long as you want it. I know a lot of people watch my readings and they're like, yeah, I've never had abundance in my life ever. I'm like, okay, well, you're caught in the spiral. That's on you. That's on you because you never saw it. Because you don't want to see it. You don't want to see it in what you already have. Right? This is about joy. Celebration of life, enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the fresh air, enjoying the autumn leaves or the spring if you're in the south, right? Enjoying, I don't know why the cup of coffee thing has been a thing for me for all these 3 readings, but just like enjoying those loving experiences, loving life and being engaged fully with life. Oh, and an unfoldment, right? Allowing life to unfold naturally, organically, purely. Life is, I always say, an infinitely blossoming rose. And there we go, unfoldment. Am I apologizing for my truth? What's the truth? That you really don't want to work that hard? The truth that you want your life to be a good one, right? That the apology for your truth is found here in the 10 of Swords and the Devil. What part of you is apologizing for your truth and why? Like, yeah, why? That's a good question. Why? Why are you? If you are, not all of you will be, but some of you might be, which is why the card came out. Apologizing for what you actually want. I always tell people, like, you can, if you're going to do the whole manifestation thing, you might as well manifest what you actually want. Like, instead of manifesting $1 million, why don't you invest a life where you don't have to work that much? Invest a life of peace. Invest a life where you can meditate all day. Now, some of you love to work. Some of you thrive in that. You have ambition, you have creativity, you have stuff inside of you that needs to come out. So instead of manifesting the result of that, which would be the money or the material or whatever, why don't you manifest the opportunity for you to be in your happiest state all the time? I mean, not all the time, but you know what I mean. And don't apologize for wanting that. Don't apologize for that being the goal. Stand still. See, I do think there's a little bit of that stagnation here with, no, well, again, that's a terrible word. I'm sorry. I shouldn't use it because that's not really what it feels like. But the Four of Coins, it's just like to being a little bit in that place of like hanging on for a minute. And hey, if you need to hang on for a minute, like I say, if that's the easier route right now, that's fine. Because I think when we hit Aquarius season of next year, I feel like a lot of things are going to start really unraveling in February, preparing through January and really unraveling through February. And if you need to just like chill till between now and then, cool. The parrot spirit, watch your words. Yeah, definitely watch your words because, they create realities. And if you're going to say a whole bunch of negative stuff, well, then guess what? You're going to go off the cliff. You're going to go off the waterfall. And you might hit some rocks on the bottom. It might kind of hurt. So instead of thinking it's not possible, say it is possible. Because if you're going to sit here and believe something, I said this in pile 2, if you're going to sit here and believe something, you might as well believe that which is helpful. Because you get to choose. Do you believe it's not possible or do you believe it is? They're both the same. They both require the exact same amount of effort. The one that says it's not possible is going to keep you down here. The one that says it is possible is going to take you all the way here. So the choice is yours. It's 100% on you. And Ascended Masters, create open communication. Oh, I love that for the blue because, of course, the blue is the throat chakra. It has a lot to do with communication and creativity. And I think this is you creating that channel with your higher self, right? The part of you that knows best, with your guides, if you have associated with them, if you've kind of figured out that kind of stuff. But it's an opportunity for you to associate and to listen and to hear and to allow yourself to be guided. Because when you're really listening to your Ascended Masters, like really, really listening, and you're not listening to your ego, right? The devil. That is when this sort of side swipe of those things becomes possible because you're like, oh, I don't even have because it opens you up to the possibility that there might be a different way. And when you're open to the possibility that there might be a different way, that's when it presents itself. All right. There's no banging your head against the wall right now. You don't need to do that. All right. Kind of a cool reading, actually. I mean, a lot of amazing indicators of success here for you guys. So just keep doing what you feel is right. Keep it easy, keep it light, keep it simple and uncomplicated. All right. Thank you guys so much. I love you. I hope you have an amazing week. See you guys soon. Take care.